Troy, you're muted.
Ah,
I was like, I can't hear you. I can't. Okay. Well,
it was
hello,
a double.
everyone.
It was the double because I unmuted and then I think everybody got unmuted. So that's the way
Oh,
tech is. There's always going to be some sort of issue. There's always going to happen. What I was saying is welcome to this Level Up in Tech live event. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No sound because I'm muted. Uh,
I'm trying to be nice. I was like,
While we're getting going, waiting for people to roll in, I want to see in the chat where everybody is from. I want to see who is the furthest person located from me in Chesapeake, Virginia. I want to see who is the furthest.
wait, and I'm in
Whoever
Charleston,
you
South
think
Carolina.
you're the furthest?
No,
No
I just
way.
want to see who's further from us.
Whoever is the furthest wins a gold star from Kinsey. Whoever is the furthest wins a gold star from Kinsey. I'm just
Okay,
curious to see who it is.
I got some gold
But
stars.
we have a lot in store for you tonight, and I'm
You
so
did
glad
not.
that everybody's here as you're rolling in. We got Virginia, we got Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. All
Stop
right.
it. Are you
What?
really from? No. Do we believe you? Do we believe you?
Okay, we got San Antonio, Northern Virginia, Tampa, New York City,
Yay, New York,
Florida. Yes, yes,
Florida.
yes. I love seeing everybody in the chat. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get going. We don't want to take up a lot of your time. We want to give you
Okay.
value immediately and go from there. All right, so I am Troy Ingram. I am a head coach here with Level Up in Tech. And now I want to introduce a woman that needs no introduction. Let's see the KPs in the chat for Kinsey Parham. Kinsey, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hey guys, my name is Kinsey Parham. I am the C&D coach for Lewitt Oceanside. I used to live in Oceanside. Sorry, I got a little off track. I am the career and development coach. So I do everything that will take you to land your first role in tech. Like we go through everything together. Sorry, look at me. I'm like, oh, Oceanside.
All right, everybody. So you are all here because we're going to talk about networking 101. You would think that in order to land a role, all you would need to do is have the correct skills, apply to the job, and then land it. Simple, but unfortunately, that is not the way the real world works. It is not about what you know, it is who you know. And that's why we're going to get into these three topics tonight. What platforms should you be using to boost your network? Who you should be connecting with? And then once you have those connections, that network, how do you showcase your skills? So let's go on, talk about the first thing. What platforms should you be using? Kinsey, what are your thoughts on that?
I have all kinds of platforms. So my very first is LinkedIn. Obviously, it's my favorite. Medium for sure. You have the AWS meetups and then Facebook. So I'm just going to get into LinkedIn real quick. And then I'll kick it off to Troy for other things. So LinkedIn is super, super, super important if you want to do your first role. First, you need to optimize your profile. Y'all, I'm talking about headshots. We need a good title. We need skills. We need work experience. And like your picture, please make it professional. Like, I love your dogs and I love your wife and I love your cousins, moms, brothers, and sisters, but just have it of yourself. Throw it into Canva, do whatever you have to do. So that's my favorite platform, LinkedIn, and we'll talk about all kinds of other things that you need to do on LinkedIn. But Troy, tell us about Facebook.
Okay, so in my opinion, for the most part, Facebook is dead. Facebook is not that great, except for the groups in the community. Mainly, right? Level Up in Tech group, which many of you are watching this from. I know we have some people watching on LinkedIn, but the majority of you are watching from our private Level Up in Tech group. Now, if you can find groups like that, that is where you want to go. Mainly the IT groups and stuff like that, where you can build that community, you can make the connections, and that is what is going to pay off for you. Nobody wants to see somebody's nephew's birthday pictures that you're putting on Facebook. So social part, not so much, but as far as the groups and stuff, that is still beneficial for Facebook as far as I'm concerned. Next thing, going outside of kind of social media platforms like that, going to local AWS meetups, if you have them, is gold, because then you're meeting people face to face, and you're talking about different IT technologies. Now, it doesn't have to be AWS. I say that AWS because I'm AWS heavy, but there's a lot of different meetups that are IT based. Now, there's a site that's actually called Meetups that you can look and see if there's any in your area, or you can try and do virtual ones. The problem with the virtual ones is you don't get as much of that connection, but it's still very possible to form that network off of the virtual ones. Look to see if there are any live ones in your area, and if there's not, maybe that's where you go out and you start creating them, and you can get speakers to come in and they can talk, and you can build the network that way. Yeah, so those are my two recommendations as far as platforms. Kinsey, what about Medium?
Medium. If you're in Level Up in Tech, you know all about Medium. If not, it's medium.com. And from there, I like to think of it as my portfolio. So everything I do for DevOps goes on Medium. So that way, when you don't have a lot of skill, that shows your hands on, that shows all the projects you're working on. And that's how I got my job. Like, my boss was like, you're a writer. And then with DevOps and tech, they need people for documentation. So if you're good at that, that's like a brownie point. That's a gold star from Kinsey. So with Medium, you're going to want to publish all your stuff. So just getting it published, you'll get in lots of people's, I guess, eyes. You'll see them. You'll be in their groups and stuff. So that's really important. And then to clap, like Medium has like claps and comments and stuff. People will see that and be like, wow, that person's a cheerleader. That person has good insight. That person gives great advice. So I think Medium's a huge one, and they have a ton of groups. So just join one, not one. Let's join 20. Let's join 50. Join all the groups. Why not? But I think Medium's a huge one, especially when you don't have that much experience. You can put it on there. You can show people what you do. So I think that's really big.
Okay. Dropping those gems. Let's get some more KPs in the chat for Kinsey, dropping those gems.
What about Troy? TIs in the
You're
chat?
the hero. You're the hero. All right, let's go on to the second topic here. All right, so who should you be connecting with? So now that we've found the platforms that we need to be on, right? Because you don't want to be on too many, because then you're going to run yourself kind of wild. So you've got your main focus. You're on your platforms. Who do you need to connect with? Anybody and everybody? No, absolutely not. You don't connect with everybody. You can if you're a friendly person. If you're Kinsey and you're friendly and you just like talking to people, yeah. But if you're talking about as far as a job or a role that you want to build out this network, professional network, then you have to think about who you're gonna connect with. And the reason I say that is because it's all about, where do you want to go? What helps me get to where I want to be in my career? So the first group I want to talk about is other people that are transitioning into tech. So if you are a person who is not in IT or is not in cloud or wherever you want to be, and you're trying to transition to it, the first set of people that you need to connect with are other people that are doing the same thing. Now, they're going to act as your support system. They're going to act as your ability to kind of grow, right? You need people that are doing the same thing as you, that are going to keep you motivated, that can give you tips, what has worked for them, what has not worked for them. And it's something that people usually overlook. They overlook that, but you need that core set of people that are going through the same thing. Yeah. The next thing you need to look at are people that have already succeeded what you were trying to do. So by that, I mean, so if you're trying to transition into IT or cloud or whatever the area is, you need to find people to connect with that have already made that transition. They've already opened the door for you, and then they're going to hold it open so you can go through. You need to connect with them, find out how they did it, see if they have any tips, any tricks, and just go from there. See their story. Obviously, like, really try and get to know them if you can. But they've accomplished it. They've done it. So you've got your people that are aspiring, and then you have the people that have already made that transition. Those are the first two groups that I would recommend connecting with. Kinsey, how about you?
I like people. So y'all, if you want to be my friend, I'm just gonna let you be my friend. I connect and get with everybody. And I am one of those people who went from Etsy to DevOps. So if you ever need to ask me, like, how did you do it? Like, what made you interested? Come on over to my LinkedIn. We'll chit chat. Um, so Troy made some good things. I would say recruiters and hiring managers, once you get some like insight on tech, once you get through the program a little bit, that's when you start reaching out to those people. Who else? I mean, I really would go through like Level Up in Tech and look at all the people and try to connect with us. I will absolutely chit chat with you guys, and I'm sure we'll be doing more of these lives. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, people who've done it, we have a lot of insight. Like, especially me, like I came zero tech. So if you have zero tech out there, we're friends. Like I can teach you all the tips and tricks. So people like me. And then if you're just a friendly person, just connect with everybody. I mean, why not? Why
Nothing's wrong
not?
with having too many friends. Nothing's wrong with being likable. I attribute most of my success in my career to being likable, not
Right.
necessarily skills, right?
Right.
So it's all good. So comment Network 101 if you want to take part in our special promotion. We'll reach out to you, give you more information about the special, but you'll see that at the bottom there, Network 101, if you're interested in finding a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So now let's go on to the third topic. So you figured out the platform, you've built out this network. So now that you have this growing network of professionals, what do you do with it? A lot of people won't do anything with it. They'll just sit there and they'll like other people's posts. They will, I don't know, like post dog pictures and stuff. But really, what you want to do is, you want to showcase your skills. So how do you showcase your skills? Kinsey, what are your suggestions for them on how they can showcase their skills?
Easy. So if you're on LinkedIn, the first thing you can do is link us to your Medium. And then in the title, like say what your Medium article is, like give them a hook, like pull them in, let them be engaged with you. Like LinkedIn is such an amazing, like, okay, don't take it from me, but I've done cat stuff. People don't like my cats, but it's cool. Do things that are relative to like what you're doing. And if you get stuck, like people love help. People love to help you. So if you're like, hey guys, this is my Medium article, I couldn't get to this point or I struggled on this point, people love to help. So ask for advice. I think that's huge. Showcase your skills, like in your LinkedIn, put all of your skills, link us to your portfolio. And when I say portfolio, make it your Medium. Or if you're like an artist and you're not here for DevOps, link us to your real portfolio, whatever you do. Get endorsements from your friends, and colleagues, not just friends. Give recommendations, like all of those things, and participate in online discussion. Like when you see people talking, get in there and talk to them. I don't care if they're the CEO, the president, vice president, go talk to them. We're all people. At the end of the day, we're all people. Just, I mean, why not? Throw your hat in the ring. Like you had to know before, so just go for it anyways. Why not? What do you think, Troy?
So yeah, those are all good points. I think what that also boils down to is demonstrating your knowledge. So
Yeah.
you really need to, in order to showcase your skills, you need to demonstrate your knowledge on those platforms so that when these hiring managers see you, when these team leads, when these potentially future coworkers see you, they say, "Oh, that is somebody who is knowledgeable on the subject and would make a good member or addition to this team."
Yeah.
Kinsey kind of nailed it all. She didn't leave me with a lot of stuff to talk about. The last thing that I think I can really suggest as far as demonstrating your knowledge and showcasing your skills would be don't be afraid to engage in the conversation.
Right.
So I think a lot of times, especially when you're a new person that is transitioning into tech, you're nervous to do all this stuff, but you're
Mhm.
especially nervous to engage in a back and forth conversation. So I would say don't worry about it and get out of the comfort zone, much like Kinsey said, and to engage in conversations, to comment on other people's posts or projects, Don't be afraid to ask something, why they did something a certain way, or what something does, or if it's technology you don't know. Nothing is wrong with doing that. Obviously, be respectful, but creating that back and forth is what is going to demonstrate your knowledge and really help somebody kind of get to know you in your network and showcase your skills, right? So on top of everything that Kinsey said, that is my extra little bonus. Do not be afraid to engage with people.
Yeah. You really have to get out of your comfort zone, honestly. Like for anything, like to be seen, you have to show yourself. And I know no one wants to do that. But just try it. Try it for 6 months, see what happens.
Just try doing something radical for 6 months, y'all. That's all you need.
Go skydiving and see what happens.
For 6 months. With that said, that pretty much, I mean, we could talk all day about this, but people have lives. So what we're going to do now is specifically, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and Kinsey and I will take some time to answer them. Try and answer them all. We'll see. Like I said, people got stuff to do. I don't know if you can hear them, but I got kids yelling in the background. So I can't be out here all night. So if you got any questions, please post them in the comments. But just as a quick recap, so you need 3 things in order to build your network. Networking 101. And what you need to pay attention to is you have to do them in the order we gave them to you. You can't start demonstrating your knowledge and showcasing your skills before you've built your network. You can, but nobody will see it.
Right.
Nobody will see it.
So, yeah,
it goes against the principles a little bit, right? So number 1, what platforms do you need to use? You need to find a platform. Find like a handful of different platforms. You don't want to just focus on one, but you don't want to spread yourself too thin. 2, figure out who you should be connecting with. We're talking about aspiring people transitioning, people that have actually transitioned into tech, and then people that are just generally in the field, and then hiring managers and recruiters. So that way when you start showcasing, they can all see your work. And then the 3rd step is showcasing your skills, demonstrating your knowledge.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm just going to get out of your comfort zone.
Cool. So our first question is, how hard is it to find a job if you are a newbie? What do you think, Kinsey?
I would say, y'all, I could talk all night on this. I mean, if you're honest and you tell them, I only have, 6 months under my belt. But what I like to say is, in 6 months, I've learned, all of these services, and I've gotten these 3 certs. So with Level Up in Tech, you get your 3 certs. They teach you everything. You can do it, because I was a newbie. I came from Etsy. Like, I made tumblers. So Etsy to DevOps is quite the jump. But no, I don't think it is. And what I like to tell my thing, if I can learn this much in 6 months, can you imagine what asset I'm going to be in a year, 2 years? I think it really boils down to being an eager learner. AWS says that a lot, especially in their interviews. Just be eager to learn, and then really be eager to learn. You want to learn this stuff. It wasn't that hard for me to find a job. So no, it was fairly easy. It probably took me 3 weeks after I finished. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that it all depends, right? It depends on if you come correct or not. If you haven't really done anything, you haven't prepared, then it's going to be very difficult. If you put a lot of work into yourself and done a lot of the things that we're talking about on our Level Up in Tech channel, then you'll probably do well. Okay, let's go to this next one here. So I'm seeing a lot of questions that aren't necessarily network related, but since we don't have a ton flooding in, we'll go ahead and take them real quick.
Yeah, we can.
This next one, I'll start with. So how much can you push on salary negotiation as someone transitioning into tech with no work experience? Once again, it goes back to my previous one. It depends on how correct you come to the negotiation and to the interview. If you get to a point where they're making you an offer, then obviously they like you. If you have done your research, if you know what the salaries are, if you know generally what that company pays because you're using specific websites, then you know whether they're making you a lowball offer or not.
Hmm.
I think every offer is negotiable, but you need to make sure that you can back it up. Now, as far as no work experience, that's where the projects come in. You need to
Right.
have the
That's where your
projects.
medium comes in.
Yeah, you need to have the projects there to demonstrate that you can do the work, even though you don't have technical like production experience. But if you don't have any of that and somehow you landed this offer, which would still be very impressive,
Hmm.
then maybe you don't have as much leverage as somebody who kind of did all that stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think
I've seen plenty of people negotiate that don't have real work experience, but they did
yeah,
their research.
I am one of those people. As long as you're like mediums and everything you can show them, like your portfolio's up to date, you can absolutely push back on salary. Like obviously I wouldn't say like 50K or something. But yeah, like I feel like I did really well with negotiating and I love my salary. So it's possible. Trust me.
Okay, here's our next one. So, thank you for attending the event.
Yay.
We love hosting the event. So, computer science junior. All right. What is the best way to network as a university student? I think everything that we said right here, personally, I think there's also probably a lot of, it depends on whether you're on campus or not. I know
Right.
online schooling has gotten a lot better since then. So see if they have any groups or any activities you can join and network through those. But then the school sometimes, depending on the school, I think they have almost like placement programs or something. So you're going to need to talk to some sort of counselor or somebody and see what is available there. Because I know sometimes universities can actually hook you up with apprenticeships too. So it all depends, or hook you up with alumni from there. I
Yeah.
just don't know that specific school, but that's what I would recommend.
I would utilize LinkedIn. I mean, it who cares if you're a college student? Like even better. Just I mean, utilize LinkedIn. Use your search, find, computer science people and just I mean, you can max out through 100 a week. Just max out your connections and be active. Like, I set apart like 30 minutes a day to chit chat with people on LinkedIn and just be engaged. I think that would be the best way to, you know, get your people up.
Okay, everybody, this is probably going to be our final question. I know there's some more questions in the chat, but we kind of have the time limit here. But we'll have more live sessions going forward. We're going to try and we're actually going to do these weekly on Wednesdays with different topics. This last one says trying to transition to cybersecurity and cloud. They would like to do so in another state. Any advice? I think, especially if you're trying to work remote or you're trying to work in another location, then you need to really be networking.
Yeah.
And I would do so. I would do so online using the steps that we had talked about here. That's probably my best advice right now is to make sure that you're building out this virtual network using LinkedIn, like Kinsey was talking about. Kinsey, what
Mhm.
do you think?
I mean, I think the question, I think, like, so I live in South Carolina, but I'm fully remote and my home base job is in New York City. So I could work anywhere. Like, I can live anywhere, work anywhere as long as it's remote. Um, I think, I mean, tech and DevOps and all this, so much opportunity for remote work. I mean, it's fun because you can live anywhere and work anywhere. And I mean, you might require some travel, but probably not. So I think you'll be fine.
All right, perfect. So if you're already in our Facebook group, then you don't need to worry about it. But if you're watching this on LinkedIn, make sure that you sign up and join our Facebook group.
Yes.
Uh, we're doing these lives on LinkedIn for now, but I think they're just going to switch to just our Facebook group here soon. So make sure that you're signed in. We're also dropping a lot of stuff in our Facebook group that we are not putting out there just to the general world. So make sure you sign up for that. And thank you all for coming here and
Thank you.
spending the evening with us. We really appreciate it. Kinsey,
What?
do you have any parting words?
No. But y'all, okay, I have parting words. I was trying to get Troy to wear pink for Wednesday. No, I don't have any parting words. He wouldn't do it. But
Negative.
thank y'all. Like we've had so much fun. Like I want to answer everything. But find us on LinkedIn. Come talk to us. be our friends, connect with us, and then use our connections, connect with our connections. So you're going to be great. We believe in you. Happy networking.